Hey everybody, it is David from Tarot Avenue here. I hope you're well. So today I'm going to be showing you just a new technique that I've developed because what I found as a professional tarot reader, a lot of people come to me and they just don't have any specific question really. It's they know they want a reading, they know they want some answers in their life, but they're just not entirely sure what they want to ask or how to frame that question to consult the tarot. Now, usually in this situation, I will work with my clients in terms of, well, let's really look at kind of what areas you want to delve further into, or really just talk to them. Frame the question together. So we call that kind of co-creating a question or co-creating a reading, really, when that happens. But there are, a lot of questions. I do a lot of readings online, a lot of readings by email, so you don't always get the chance to have that conversation or to do that, go through that kind of process together. So I've developed a bit of a system where, and this is really based on, really that question, the universe delivering the question that you need answered at that time. So I thought, how about we actually let the cards choose the question? So there's, I've entitled a blog post. I've written a blog post to go along with this, called 78 Questions to Ask Your Tarot Reader. And you can get that. I'll put a link to it in the notes, but it's just tarotavenue.com/78 questions. And there is an example of one question for each card in there. And I've also got a PDF download that you can download where I've got 5 example questions for each. And it's in a nice little ebook there, so you can print it off and just keep it handy. But there are 5 questions for each card. So, the idea is that you'll just never be stuck again for a question to ask a tarot reader, or as a client, as a tarot reader, if you're a tarot reader yourself, if somebody comes to you and they're like, I don't know what I want to ask, go through that process of shuffling and picking a card and just trust that the right thing will come up and the right question. So the idea is that the real messages will be delivered that the person needs to hear at that time. So we'll go through a couple of examples for this. It is quite straightforward, but I'll just show you a few examples in terms of how it can work. And again, it's like once you've drawn that card, it's up to the tarot reader to then decide on a spread that would go with that. So it might be you maybe want to do a Celtic cross around that question, or maybe you want to do a horseshoe spread, or maybe you want to do a custom spread around that particular question. But let's just have a little look. And I have based this on the Rider-Waite deck, but you can, these questions can apply to any deck really. And it is really just about opening your intuition as well. So it's not a case of you have to ask these questions. It must be one of the 5 questions that I've written there. It really is a case of these are there just to give you some inspiration and give you ideas about the questions that you might want to ask. So let me just give these cards a shuffle and then we'll draw a few and just get a few examples of what we could ask. So let's go and have a look there. So the first card I have drawn is the Temperance card. So Temperance for me is really about, it can be many different things, but for the big thing that jumps out to me is balance. It's about finding balance in your life. I quite often get drawn to this kind of dipping a toe in the water of something new, and so I feel like there is something about moving forward with new projects, but and there is a bit of there's an alchemist there, making your own kind of future as well by mixing all these different elements. But there's quite a few different things can come up with a Temperance card. So let me just have a little look at the guide and we'll see. I'll just run through some of the questions that have come up there. So for Temperance, the first one that I have written there is, how do I restore balance in my life? So for me, it might be a case of, so say I wanted to, that question came up for somebody, I might just want to look at, right, so the question is, how do I restore balance in my life? And I might just do a simple 3-card spread, like, oops, just dropped everything, which is always fun. But it might just be a case of, right, to restore balance, what action do I need to take? What obstacles might I face? And where am I headed? So let's just do a 3-card spread. So quite interesting what comes up here. So we get what action I need to take to restore balance. So this is a card really for me. It's a real card about kind of planning. It's making decisions. And you know I get drawn to the 2 in the Temperance, and there's a 2 in here as well. Not that the Temperance is 2, but it's the 2 cups that always draw me. So when I'm looking at this and thinking, what do I need to do? You know, this is a real card about kind of planning, and when it's reversed as well, it just feels to me like it goes a bit beyond planning, and it's like you're getting kind of stuck in this planning phase. So this would say to me, you actually just need to start moving forward. You need to start taking action to, it feels to me like you've done all the work. So, you know, because this balance might be, maybe it's somebody that's planning to launch a new business or something, you know, but maybe they're getting bogged down in the planning, and it's really like, no, I must study, I must do this, I must have everything perfect, you know, before I can actually take that step forward. So maybe that's the balance. I mean, it would depend on the situation. This is all hypothetical, but maybe that's the kind of balance. And it's like you've done the planning, you've done the research, you've got all the insights. Now it's just time for action. And once you start taking those first steps, you'll be amazed at how that balance will be restored in your life. And then any obstacles you can face. So we'll get the 4 of Wands. So a lot of wands in here, 2 wands so far. So the 4 of Wands there is really about like celebrations, and this could be saying that there's loads of distractions out there. There might be a lot of celebrations. There may be. Maybe there's family events, all these things that are kind of pulling you away from if you were launching a business or whatever you're doing. There could be that. Or it could also be saying, you know, you've done all your planning, but don't be afraid to celebrate your successes as well, because so many people just go through life and don't celebrate things that they've achieved so far. So that can affect your balance in life as well, because you just think if it's work, 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 and then as Rihanna would say, and if there's no balance in there, you know, and no joy, if you're not taking the time to find that kind of joy through, well, I'm really proud of what I've achieved so far. Yeah, I've got further to go, but I'm going really well. So that could be that. And then again, we get kind of where you're headed. And it's interesting, isn't it? Look at the star card, which again, for me is all about healing, but it really is about kind of balance as well. And look at it compared to that Temperance card. They're actually quite similar. It's really about kind of finding balance here between the water and the land. So this would say to me that balance does get restored if you take those action points. So anyway, that's just a little example of what you could ask. Let me just see what else I had in for the Temperance card. So how do I restore balance was one. What's going on that I'm not aware of that is causing the imbalance in my life? So that might be a question that you would put into the spread. What areas of my life do I need to show some self-restraint? How can I mediate in a situation where there is conflict? Because, you know, there could be, there could just be, this card could be about a mediator. How do I get in touch with my angels or maybe my spirit guides? So that's just some other examples there. Now let me just draw another card for you. So we have got here the 4 of Cups. So let's see what comes up in the guide for the 4 of Cups. I'll just whiz through to that. So for me, the 4 of Cups is really about being stuck in a rut. You know, it's somebody who's just on this kind of cycle. It's like, oh, I've already got these 3 cups. Yeah, you want to give me something else, but oh, I've had it before. It's like, I'm just sick of it. Yeah, it was nice at one point, but it's just the same over and over again. So the first question that sprung to mind for me was, how can I get out of this rut? As simple as that. So, and I mean, you might even just want to do a 1 card for that. But you might want to do a full Celtic cross to really get a full understanding of that person and why they're in this rut and all the issues from the past that have caused them to be in this rut and things like that, you know. What am I not seeing that's been offered to me right now? Because this can be like a gift from the universe, and it can be that you're actually blind to it because you've been a bit stubborn. And what else do we have? How should I break this cycle? How can I feel more contentment? Or what should I be grateful for at the moment? Because this can be a card about like a lack of gratitude as well, you know. So it might just be, yeah, it's time to be grateful. It's time to actually really appreciate what you've got already, even though you might be a bit sick of it. It's still like a really good thing. So that's that. I won't do a spread for that because I think you get the gist. But let's just draw one more just to show you there. So we get the moon card. So for the moon, let me have a little look for this one. So the moon for me is really, it shows me that there's a journey to go on, you know. There's this big winding path with all these different obstacles on it, and you know, it can sometimes be a card about illusions and nightmares and things as well. But it's really, so the one that sprung to mind straight away for me, the top one was, what obstacles do I need to look out for? Because I feel this a real card about obstacles, and then you could dig into, you know, which ones are real, which ones are in my imagination, how can I get over that kind of thing. What I've got, what am I not seeing at the moment? Because there could be some hidden obstacles along the way. What energy is going to help me navigate this tricky path? So that might be that you need to be really positive. Maybe you need to do loads of planning. Maybe you need to be aware of those around you. You know, maybe you just need to open your heart to love and that kind of thing. What does my recurring dream mean? Could be a question. So, and it would depend on, you know, it's just whatever resonates with you. Or what is my subconscious trying to tell me right now? Because I often associate dreams with the subconscious. So it's like, what are the messages that are really looking to come through? So that is this. It's really simple, but I think you'll find it could be quite effective. So again, I will put a link into the guide, but if you just go to the blog, tarotavenue.com/78 questions, you'll be able to see the post there, and there's an option there for you to download the guide as well, so you can get the full details there. And there's full instructions there, just how you can do this, use this technique yourself. So I'd love to hear how it goes. Do write in the comments or write to me and just let me know how things are tracking for you. And if you have any questions or need any help with that, I'm more than happy to answer. All right, guys, I wish you all the best, and I will see you soon. Bye.